Hey guys. Okay. Got a update with the crazy guy. Okay, this is all in the spirit world. This is what I update you on the spirit world. Okay. Just in case you don't know. So this is what happened. The Christ that was working with me, he split. He said, bye-bye, I'm out of here. So he's gone. I got a new one. Dreamt about him. He has 2 daughters and 1 son. Pretty cool. He seems like a cool guy. And so I'm just getting to know him. That night, I met him that night. I went to sleep, and my dog, which was like a half a year old, died. Somebody kicked it and kicked it and kicked it. And from what they said, its jaw was broken, its teeth were knocked out, its head was cracked in, its ribs and got bones. It died. So I've yet to figure this out, how this works, but for animals that live in the spirit world, with insane illusion specifically, so you get your animal insane illusion, you can beat it to death. Well, this what happens to me, my dog. Somebody beat it to death, and the soul leaves that ethereal skin, that manifestation of the dog in the ethereal soul level. I don't know, I'm still trying to figure this out, so more as I get it. Now, it takes a day and a half, 2 days for it to start reinforming itself into a new dog. Well, this time it reinformed itself into a puppy. So it's like a puppy that is just starting to walk. That's how young this thing is. 2 days later, it started reinforming itself. Now, the Christ that came, he decided, well, this is like the 4th time I had this dog and it got killed. So he wanted to give it away because it was so young to another bunch of people that raised dogs, and they had puppies, and they could put it with their litter of puppies, and it would have a social thing to grow up on. And so I asked him, how long is this going to take? And he goes, 2 years. I'm like, 2 years? No, I was pissed off. So I said, yeah, do it, because it's the right thing to do. Like, you can't raise a puppy by itself. It's got to be with a family of puppies and dog social order stuff and stuff like that. As soon as I get the dog back, somebody's going to fucking kill it. We all know who that is. Crazy man. So anyway, turns out it went to one of my innocences in the illusion. He lives in the illusion. And he comes here too. But he lives down in the illusion somewhere. So anyway, he took it. And he's raising it. And I can go visit it. And he comes around. So the dog is still around. And he has other dogs. Not baby dogs. But he has 2 other dogs or so. And they're all taking care of the puppy. So that's cool. And then, after that, bullshit. Everything was pretty good for a day or 2. Then, last night, I went to sleep. This all happened last night and today. It's still happening right now as I make this. But I had to figure out what was going on, get some information for you before I reported it this morning. So, it's like 9 o'clock now. So it turns out, this is how it happened. I'm laying there, crazy man is up there screaming at me, and he's speaking like he's one of my daughters, right? He's talking like he's one of my daughters. So he thinks I'll think it's my daughter, and I'll do what she says, because I usually do, because my spirit, my wife and kids usually inform me what's going on and tell me what to do. Okay, so he tries to emulate them and manipulate the advice coming into my head. So he'll say, the kids are telling me to stay in bed, and he's going, go to the illusion, go to the illusion, go to the illusion. And so he thinks I'm going to go to the illusion where he can do his whatever he's going to do to me, right? So, and there's stuff that he's done to me that I won't fucking say on here because it's just too brutal. Just to let you know. Anyway. So he's a, I don't know. You can figure this out for yourself. So I'm dreaming. So I go into a dream. Well, actually, I laid down and I delinked him. I delinked him, took him out, cut the links in my head and everything. Didn't really work, but I tried the best I could. I fall asleep and I'm in this dream where, and this is an official dream, it's a dream, and I'm in the same illusion. Now, if I was to fall asleep in the illusion, he could just do whatever he wanted to me, falling asleep, or when I went into the dream. Now, he works in dreams, and he works in the illusion, and he's not allowed in sane illusion, this guy that's attacking me. So he can go into my dreams, he can go into the illusion. If I'm in the illusion doing something, he can come right up to me and go, hello, and I can shoot him, or fight, or do whatever, you know. But since I don't go to the illusion much, and I stay in sane illusion with everybody and with Christ, he can't get me. So all he is way up above screaming at me, mimicking my kids and taunting me and whatever. Okay. So I fall asleep in sane illusion and I go into a dream. Now, my friend, he's there, guy I know on Earth, and he's dating a girl I know on Earth in this dream, and they're together, and they're sort of fighting, but they're together. Then there's another guy I don't know, he's there, and we're in this apartment, and she is screwing everybody in this apartment but me. But she's playing tricks on my fucking head with me in the dream, okay? So she screws one of my friends. Then she does it to piss off her boyfriend. Now, the two people in reality I'm talking about, I'm not putting any names, they've met and they don't like each other at all. Like, they wouldn't even look at each other in real life. Can't stand each other. Totally different kind of people. But in this dream, she's the one going around screwing all the guys. She ain't doing nothing to me, but she screws my friend. Then she screws my other friend, who's friends with my friend. That's fucking hard, man. I can barely do this. And then she's trying to taunt me. So those two guys are like freaked out. So one of them leaves. She's here now with me, and she makes a pass at me, and I'm like, no, get away. She never would do that in real life. Neither of these would. We wouldn't even be in the same room together ever. Period. So anyway, this is going on. This big crazy. She's hitting on me, and I say, get the hell out of here. And so she goes, and all of a sudden, I look out the window in this apartment that we're in, and there's stairs coming down from above, and this guy comes down, and he's got a black beard, and he's standing on the patio, and then all of a sudden, this girl comes down, and she opens up the door. You know, describe her. She got boobs, great big boobs. They're not real, you can tell. Great big boobs, huge ass shoulders, and she's all hourglass type, She got on this uh, dress, this real fancy ass black dress. She got black hair, black eyebrows. She got black high heel shoes on, and she's got this dress that shows everything. Okay, it's like tied at the back, sort of thing, goes over her hips and her legs. I mean, and I went, oh hell no, like that, right? And I wasn't excited. To me, it was like, oh my god, people actually dress like that. That's the kind of reaction. Like, totally not interested. She looked like a prostitute on the street. Then I look and I'm like, is that a guy? Right? So she comes in. She walks. I'm sitting on the couch. And she goes, hello, nice to meet you. Like she's been here before. So I reach out and I shake her hand. And she grabs my hand. She goes, now you get out of the way. And she sits where I was sitting, right? She goes, now you get the hell out of the way. And she sits down where I'm sitting. And she starts talking to my girlfriend and her boyfriend. And they're talking. And all of a sudden I heard this screaming. And I'm looking at the she's a transsexual, right? And I'm listening to, she's talking to my two friends about whatever the hell. And all of a sudden I hear screaming. And I start waking up. And I hear the voice say, Rich, it's him. Wake up, it's him, wake up. And I slowly wake up and they're screaming. And it's my kids and my wife screaming, it's him in the dream, wake up. So I wake up out of the dream. I'm still in the room with the girl. The kids are screaming, it's him, wake up. My kids in St. Lucia. Turns out they tricked me and they have that device on my head that shows the dreams. So they have this device on my head. I told you in the last video, Christ put this device on my head. Well, the guy who built it put it on my head, but Christ, and they have a viewer so they can watch my dream. So they're on watching my dream on a fucking computer screen from what it looks like, I guess. They're watching, and it's a little, but anyway, it was really bright and everything. They saw this girl, they saw me shake her hand. As soon as she came down, they started screaming at me, that's him, that's the guy, that's the crazy guy. So crazy guy is in my dream now. My kids are waking me up out of the dream so I don't get mixed up in the dream with him. So they wake me up, but I'm still in the dream. And they go, get out of there, get out of the dream, get out of the dream. And so I didn't get out of the dream. I'm like, I gotta get this, I gotta do something, I gotta get this fucking guy. So I'm like, excuse me, in the dream I go, excuse me, you gotta go. So I went around in the kitchen and I went upstairs and there's a tap, like a blanket or some kind of wooden thing that was like this. It has the holes in it. Some kind of wooden thing. Anyway, I wanted to shoot and I could see through the hole down below. Crazy guy dressed up as a transsexual who was there to do whatever to me. Okay, now he may not have done anything to me in the dream, okay, but there's a whole bunch of stuff he's already done to me just by shaking his hand and him coming into my dream. There's a ton of stuff he's already done to me. Now, this is where it gets crazy. I'm still in the dream, but I'm awake and my kids are there. I take my finger, I pretend I pull out a gun, I take my finger and I put it in the hole like this through the wooden thing from upstairs, and I look at him and I go boom like that, and all of a sudden he's got a hole in his head and he drops dead like he's dead. He's laying there like he's dead. And all of a sudden the kids go, holy shit, Rich shot him. And all of a sudden my innocence goes, no, we didn't. Rich used his finger. So I didn't shoot the guy. I pretended to shoot him. But he feigned death. He feigned he got shot. You understand? Now, is this all my creation in the dream? See, this is where I don't know. Did I create that for him? All of a sudden, as soon as my innocence in my head said, no, that was my finger, I tricked him to see what would happen. I didn't use a real gun. I used my finger. And he played death. He died. So he's manipulating me on that level, okay? Now, but I don't know if this is my creation in the dream. If he's the creation in my dream that I created, or me shooting him in the head, I created. But it was my finger. So there was no projectile. It was just me thinking it. But he's in my head. Do you understand? This is what spirits do to you. This is where you get fucked. Totally fucked. I told my wife and kids, no. And I told Jesus, no, I didn't shoot him. He faked it. As far as I'm concerned, he faked it. If I'm wrong in that assumption, so be it. But I was out of the dream. But I was still in the dream, acting out. Same as you. Well, whatever. Anyway, I don't know, put more comparisons, confuse you. So anyway, I finally leave the dream. He wakes up and he gets up. The hole's gone. The hole is gone. The hole where he got a shot in the head. He gets up off the couch. The hole's gone. So he did it. As far as I'm concerned, he did it. It had nothing to do with me. I was just pretending in myself. Now, I already know he's in my head. Where, I don't know. I can't find him yet. But he's inside me. Now, my innocence inside me and the thing on my head, the viewer, they recorded it all on Christ's recorder super device, whatever the hell it is. So they recorded it all. So I'm golden. Now, after that, I leave the dream. No, I stay in the dream. Christ goes, all of a sudden we're running. He gets up and he walks, he opens the door. I almost forgot this part. He gets up, he walks to the wall and he opens the door. The transsexual woman. And he walks in and he's walking down this black hallway. But it ain't even a hallway, it's just black. He's walking down it. And I'm chasing him. And Christ is coming in to catch the guy into me. No, Christ comes into me. He sees what I'm seeing, just as the crazy man does. Sees what I'm seeing. So Christ is seeing through me, and crazy man seeing through me. I'm just standing there, and Christ goes. Christ is in me looking. He goes, "Is that him?" I'm like, "Yeah." And so I pull out my freeze gun. I pull out a freeze gun, and I shoot him in the back. Just as he starts running, so he's frozen. He can't do it. Christ grabs him, hauls him away, takes him away. Then I leave the fucking dream. Finally, I'm out of it. I leave the dream. I get up, have a smoke, go piss, lay back down, go to bed. Okay? So my kids are talking. We got it all. We recorded the whole thing. We finally got it. They're blown away that they saw the dream and they saw Crazy Man and we got him. And then what happens next? So I'm laying there, and all of a sudden, I'm like, now this guy's in my head again. So I gotta remove him from my head and my body, soul. Okay? So I focus on him. He's screaming with Christ. Christ is yelling at him, bitching at him. I start separating the connections, isolating. So the voices up there vibrate the chords in my head where I hear them fighting. So I shake back and forth. I isolate the chords and I let them go. I let as much go as I can. Like a marionette. I let the chords go as much as I can. Then I will cut the rest. So I do that, but I can still hear him clear as day. And so I'm like, something else is going on because I can still hear him. So I shake back and forth, and all of a sudden I see a clear, like a octopus arm without the suckers on it. It's like an octopus arm, and it's clear. You can see right through it. And it comes into the right side of my head, and it goes down into my chest, and goes right down to my root chakra, okay? This octopus arm. And so I'm like, Jesus, there's something else going on here. I don't know what the fuck this is, but this is the first time I've seen it. So what I did was, I see it, and I isolated it from all the rest of me, and I pushed it out. Now my skins wouldn't let go of the ectoplasm, juicy stuff, whatever that is. So I pushed it out of my skins, but there's still this goo wrapped around it. And it wouldn't let go. And I'm like, I can't get rid of it. And Christ goes, well, I'm coming. A different Christ is coming now to help me, because the other Christ is fucking fighting with crazy man still. So he comes in. This other Christ comes in. He goes, well, shoot the goddamn thing with your freeze gun. So I shoot it. Christ shoots it. Christ has a gun. He shoots it. We both shoot it. And it freezes. And so I push it out. And as he's checking it out, and I decided, well, since it's clear and no one can see it, Christ can barely see it, and I can barely see it, I start painting it red, just with a fucking paintbrush, slapping paint on it, set it on fire. With the fire card, boof, it's on fire. He can see it. And so I start painting it. Christ has grabbed it. He's pulling it away from me. But the end, like all this is frozen, but the end goes, and it starts coming out the end, and it's growing out the end, and it comes and sticks right to my abdomen, right? And I'm like, and I take my gun, I shoot it again, but I shoot myself. So I freeze myself because I shoot it, and it stuck to me, and So I'm frozen for like 5-10 minutes. This thing's frozen. Christ takes it off me, and it's still growing out, man. The end of me, the end of itself. It's like a tentacle, like a finger, and it keeps coming out like that. It keeps growing out, and it's coming right to me. So Christ keeps shooting it. Then Christ screams at another Christ, I need an isolation cage or something. And so this other Christ brings the isolation cage, and they stick it in this, and it's too small. So they make a bigger cage. Like it just goes, a big giant box, but it's a box, like isolation box, which keeps it totally confined, whatever this is. So that Christ freezes it a bunch of times, puts the whole great big amoeba thing into this isolation box. Now what it looks like is he froze the rest of it, and it looked like two big legs like that with a rounded end. Two big legs, two tentacles with a rounded end. And it's totally frozen in this isolation box. Now, they take that away. They say, Rich, get up. We're taking it away. We don't want you to know where it goes. I'm like, okay. Because if I'm laying there sleeping, I'll go with Christ and watch where they put this thing. And then I'll be fucking with it all the time, subconsciously or consciously. So I get up, I go on the computer, watch a video. Then I go back to bed because I'm burnt, tired. I lay in there, and all of a sudden, I can still hear this fucking guy screaming at me, right? I'm like, are you kidding me? All of a sudden I look, it's going in my head again, and it's going down. Another one. Grace goes, I need another isolation box. Probably the same size. So, another Grace comes, gets the isolation box. I shoot the fucking thing, pull it out of me. Okay, and it feels like a fucking squid or an octopus arm, literally. But it's see-through. You can't. It's clear and it's growing, and it goes right into my head. And now this is what's freaky. As whatever I think in my head, so I think to my daughters, I go, "You guys all right?" I go, "You guys all right? Like, is everything all right with you guys? What's going on?" And as I think that, he's saying it way up there. He is in my head still. And it's this fucking thing that's this octopus arm thing. Whatever I think in my brain comes out his mouth. Crazy man's mouth. And I can hear it in my daughter's voice, but it's a man. It's not my daughter. My daughter's talking to me about a different subject. But whatever I say to my daughter, he says it. So I caught him. So I know this thing's fucking connected. I'm telling Jesus this. Jesus understands. Finally, we get this thing out of this. He takes it away. I'm out cold. All of a sudden, boom, I'm out cold. I don't know what happened after that. And I was wide awake, man. It was weird. That shit don't happen. So I'm out cold. I wake up 4 hours later. Seems the containment police of St. Lucian or Christianity, whatever they are, came, or even other people, other organizations in St. Lucian. I don't know. They came when I was sleeping. They put me in a containment cage. Put my wife, my daughters. They put Christ in. They put my ex-innocence. Well, he's not my innocence. The other person that used to be inside me talking. They put him in a cage. So my dogs ain't being taken care of, and it's a puppy. And we've been in this cage for like 4 or 5 hours. They put all of us in a cage. They put Christ's children, wife in a cage. They have nothing to do with it at all. They put, now these are isolation cages. So the nurse or whatever, the doctor comes in and he's dressed in like a biosuit, fancy ass biosuit. And they want to know where these fucking things come. And so I tell them, my innocence tells them, my kids tell them, and they're interrogating every one of us. Now, my kids and my wife are saying, they abused me, they kicked me, they pushed me, they punched me, and all this stuff to put us in this cage and catching us and everything. But we're all innocent. And then I told the guy, the top dude that's doing all this, I go, I told you this was coming. The fucking guy, crazy man, should be gone. He is truly crazy. Now, whatever I know is this. This is what I know. In the dream, crazy man shook my hand. In the dream, crazy man dressed up as a transsexual doing his fucking weird shit on me to get me to have sex with him or whatever. I already knew I was playing it. Kids woke me up. But since crazy man got into my head, he had this new thing he had, or I think this thing's been around the whole time. I just keep kicking it out but don't know it. The amoeba thing. Now, what I think he does is he has this thing and he programs it to come to me, to go inside me, so he knows what I'm doing all the time. And I constantly, for months, while he's out there, banned from St. Lucian, I can hear him talking my thoughts. And I tell Christ this, Christ knows this. But last week, a few days ago or a week ago, Christ said he took that thing out of my head so they can't see my dreams anymore. 2 days later, crazy man comes into my dreams thinking the viewer is gone. But actually it wasn't. They recorded the whole thing. So he's fucked. He's fucked. He even violated his own God's law, or not God's laws, the St. Lucian laws. He broke them, all of them. There's a lot of shit he did by coming into me. Now, when he came into my dream, he plants this fucking seed thing of the octopus arm, and it grows. It grows like a worm. It's a fucking virus. He puts it in me, it grows. It goes into my brain, goes down into me, and goes right up to him. Or comes from him and goes into me. One or the other. I don't know how it worked, because I never actually saw that. I only pushed it out of me when it was there. And it grows and it grows and it grows. It got so big I could hear him perfectly. He was driving me nuts. And I cut all the strings. I cut all those attachments. But it was still attached. It was a new attachment that I wasn't aware of. And so this thing kept fucking growing. Christ and his guys had to put it in containment, and they froze it in the illusion in a fancy box, a medical containment box. It has, from what I've seen of it, it's super reinforced all around. The windows have wires going through them, and there's big machines and shit, and this thing is stuck in there, frozen. And all it is a big tentacle. And there's 2 boxes with these 2 big tentacles that I pushed out of me. So Christ has got these. So all the bio guys are analyzing, trying to figure out what the fuck it is. And I went and told them exactly what happened to me and how that happened. And so they got information. And as I speak now, there's still a couple people in containment. We had to sit in there for 9-10 hours to wait and see if another one of these things grew out of us. So basically, they quarantine the whole area. Everybody associated with me, even Jesus Christ, my buddy that does the cars and stuff at the shop. He's there. He's in containment. His wife, his kid. He's pissed. He's a Jesus Christ. The Jesus Christ that left. He left. Remember last week I told you at the beginning. He left. He wasn't. He was in the show the whole time. The whole thing was a setup to catch this son of a bitch. What he didn't contend for was, or wasn't, what he wasn't ready for was the worm thing, where the containment guys came in and quarantined us all. They went into illusion. They went to my buddies, my inner self, ex self. He lives in illusion. Went to his house. Went through everything. Went through my house. Went through everything. Everybody's house is looking for stuff. Fuck, you wouldn't believe it. These guys are so thorough. Anyway, they went through all our shit everywhere. Checked it out. There's so many hours we gotta stay in containment for this thing to sprout this worm, to see if any more worms start growing out of us. Nothing happened. Nothing. As soon as we isolated ourselves from him, nothing else happened. And it was all me. No one else had wormy things growing out of their head, just me. Because the psychopath likes me. Now, these guys got to know that shit. And we filmed it all. So the ex-Christ that left, he didn't actually leave. He was just setting up this whole sting operation to catch psychopath dressed up as a transsexual in my dream to come and own my ass again. Just to have sex with me or something. Fuck. There you go. And that's how it happens, man. It's all about sex. Oh, there's no ghosts. Don't bother having sex with you. You hear it on TV all the time. I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's an update of my last week in the spirit world and all that shit that happened with the containment.